I guess we'll start anyway. Just first off, massive thank you to Osama for hosting us. Been a massive, I guess, mentor, coach for Entr Tech students. So first off, massive thank you. Great to be in the offices. Yeah. From my side as well, good to have Rana and Brad here, both Entr Tech students that have come through smashing it. So you're going to hear their stories. And yeah, I guess from my side, thank you for coming down. I know it's a cold Monday afternoon in the middle of December. I just want to give you my side of things and my story. I think we put these on for you guys to get to know, obviously, Entr Tech alumni, but also meet some of the coaches and people that are coming through. My journey was, like many of you, I didn't know what field of work I wanted to get into. So I actually left university, did door-to-door sales for 12 months and was sort of lost in that sort of space where I wasn't sure what field of work I wanted to do, but I actually realized I was quite good at, speaking to people, selling, and I was financially motivated. And I realized, the tech industry was where lots of my peers or, people I knew were doing very, very well. So I actually stumbled into tech sales. It took me probably 12 months of applications, interviews, tons of rejections. But I loved it, genuinely changed my life. I went from, some of you know my story, from doing 22K door-to-door sales to, earning six figures in less than 3.5, 4 years. And yeah, I guess from my side, it's empowering you guys to know, number one, there's opportunities out there and that you don't have to have a university degree. You don't have to, have studied at Oxford or Cambridge. But I guess the main things you do need is, I guess, a passion for technology, or at least an interest in technology, and also drive and motivation to work bloody hard and really make yourself financially successful. So I guess you're going to hear from Rana and Brad and obviously myself. We're going to open up to questions. So I want to hear from you guys, I guess, what you want to get out of today, and hopefully you're going to network and meet lots of people here that can either help you where you want to get to, or at least you're going to leave by learning something. So yeah, without further ado, we'll bring into Rana, Brad. You want to take a seat?
Lovely.
Actually, you both come here.
I'll see you again, Jack.
Good to see you. Yeah, good to see you again.
Yeah.
Second time, yeah, good, yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah. It's been a while since I've presented, and yeah, I guess for my side, I know you guys very well and your stories and journeys. So I guess, Brad, if you want to kick off and tell us, I guess, what do you do at the moment, but what were you doing before Entr Tech, and what's your journey to where you are today?
Sure. So my name's Bradley Gilman. I'm a CDA, as we call them here, but at SDR at Intap. I have been Intap for about coming up to 6 months now, so I'm just sort of passing my probation, hopefully. But yeah, so it's been a really, really good journey. Really enjoyed working my time at Intap so far. Essentially, we sell a CRM product to the financial services. So anyone working within the private capital markets, right through sort of investment banking firms. My story started when I was probably about 16. I used to work in construction, so a lot like most people, you come out of school, you don't really have an idea of what you want to do with yourself. So I remember getting home from school, I got about 2 weeks before I finished school. I was laying on the settee, my dad come home and he went to me, "Son, you're not doing that." He said, "You're coming out to work with me." So he got me on a building site, and that was just what I thought I'd do for the rest of my life. So I got my trade. I done an apprenticeship for four years. I was fully qualified to install air conditioning. So all these ventilation is basically what I've done. So I used to build the offices for people like us.
This office.
Yeah, basically, maybe not this office, but yeah, we've worked on a few. You've got the walkie-talkie. So yeah, it was something. It paid the bills. I always wanted to travel as well. So that was something that I had the bug for. I was self-employed, and I thought, Joe, what? I'm going to do a bit of work. I'm going to do a bit of travelling at the same time. So I travelled on and off, come back home, call my dad up, "Got any work anywhere?" So it was nice. It worked for the time whilst I was young. Yeah. Then I decided to do a year's working holiday visa in Australia. And a bit like Jack's path, I found a job in door-to-door sales. And I thought, Joe, this is something different. I didn't want to stay in construction. I thought, why not give it a go? So I've done 6 months as a door-to-door in Brisbane and absolutely loved the environment, enjoyed the selling culture, and there was a lot of money to be made. So I thought, oh, this is great. So I finished my 6 months in Brisbane and I thought, what am I going to do now? Because I still want to travel Australia. and I still need to make money. So I taught myself how to build websites. And on the way from the 6 months from Brisbane, I basically sold websites, cold calling, kind of some of the skills that you take into this role. So I was building a bit of a foundation to where I am now. Come over from Australia, and Dad went, "Do you want a job back on site, Brad?" I went, "Nah, Dad, I'll try something different." And little Google search, I come across Entr Tech. I thought, "Oh, this sounds interesting.
Yeah.
What's this all about?" Had a conversation with Jack, and the rest is history.
I remember just having a call with you, and you said, "I just come back from Australia."
Yeah.
And I swear you're in Spain.
That was it.
And I think we've done a podcast about this story, but I could tell you'd already done a certain level of sales. So when I meet someone, I think some of you guys who came in, you've done door-to-door or some sort of sales in the tourism field. And I felt like you just needed that step in with a bit of coaching and
of course,
a bit, I guess, a community to support you make that step. But I could tell from day one that you were going to do well because you had a really good flair. And I can just tell you're driven, right? You're probably at that stage of your life where, a bit like me, when I got into tech sales, I just realized I was almost late to get in. But we've got people here from the program that have come in their 40s and late 30s and even towards 50. So I thought I was late at 26 when I broke in.
Yeah.
But you were luckily, I think, a little bit younger. Maybe.
No, that's about the same.
About the same age, But you're in the very same stage of life where you're like, actually, I can't lose any more years. If I'm going to be working, I want to work in an industry where I can earn well and progress quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's a lot of things, and also maybe the flexibility. You've had a travel bug, and you're traveling right at the moment now.
Yeah,
for work
so
and
I've
school.
literally just got back from Frankfurt last week on a prospecting trip. I went out with one of my account executives. We planned a strategic trip to speak to some of the target personas that she's looking to break into out in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
We booked out a nice trip, and we come back and it's been quite successful.
Nice.
It's nice. And I got to enjoy the Christmas market.
Exactly.
So I can't complain.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go into like the day-to-day of tech sales and all that. I kind of want to dig into, I know you're doing very, very well, and Osama's your manager here will vouch for that.
Yeah.
But we'll go into like what makes it, make someone a successful SDR.
Yeah.
But I guess, Rana, just to bring you in, what's your, origin story been? And I guess.
Yeah, to be fair, I've come slightly similar but very different story in compared to Brad. But so I was, in just a quick nutshell, because I've done this the story quite a bit. But I was born in London, moved when I was 5 to America, and I lived in California for about 20-something years. So I lived and born and raised out there, and then moved back. And I fell into something at Greenwich University called clearing. I didn't even know what that was, and they hooked me into becoming a teacher. So I became a teacher for about 2 years. Didn't want to be that. And then essentially I was at one of our Gurdwara temples, and then they had a Kent police sign out there, that's a future career. And then I'm slightly older on my side, so I'm 38, just slightly 38 now. But I fell into just for men. But in general, I fell into I went into the police, and I was in the police for about 10 years, which was it was great, it's good. I'm not going to knock it. They do a lot. It's tough, different career. Depends on what life of your journey you're at, however it is. But at that point, there came a time when I had kids, I had misses, twins, and a 5-year-old as well would just knock it out of you. There were times I was getting out at 2 o'clock in the morning, going away for 2 weeks at a time, and then coming back. So it wasn't one of those things where I could see for the future. And on top of that, it's quite horizontal. So that is what you're going to earn. It doesn't matter what effort you're going to put in for the rest of your life. That is where you're going to be. It came to a point where that kind of, let's say, energy just started depleting from the job. All right. So I looked and I came across TikTok, which is quite fun. And TikTok is where I actually saw Jack's initial post. And from TikTok, I actually reached out straight off the bat.
Yeah,
and,
it's crazy.
I was like, hey, do you want to have a quick conversation? And I had the conversation with Jack, and it was somewhere straight away. We had a good connection. And I think one thing that you should always learn is if you can trust a person, that's probably 95% of the way there. And that's something I've learned over a long, long time. And then I straight away trusted you on that point. I gave you Frank, you gave me Frank, and joined in on that point. Joined Entr Tech on there. I was a 6-week program. I think I was one cohort after Brad, which is where I know Brad from. But joined Entr Tech, and then I think it was after the 6 week I had 3 job offers, just right up. And again, one thing you'll get is that mentoring side. I mean, everyone has their life skills, their life lessons, but you're entering a new industry. And I'm going to be honest, it's very, very new. I made my mistakes, as I will go into things about leaving, getting too hasty and learning. You're going to continue learning. I'm learning off of someone now, learning still off Jack, and you still learn off your peers around you. But from the 6 weeks, I took an offer at Contract Pod, which was great. Killed the targets. It was going really, really well.
So give us the lowdown on them. So they're an American firm.
Yep.
But you were working from the London office, right?
Yeah, American firm, working from a London office. Global, they're Series C funded. It was going well. Everything was fine, but there were still elements that were missing for me. And I can't put a nail on it. I don't know what it was. But, you know, I decided to make a move, and the move, whichever way it happened. But then, luckily, I got in touch with Osama through Jack as well. And we had a great conversation. And I started here in February
This year.
This year.
No, this year.
This year, yeah.
Yeah.
It's February this year.
Crazy.
It's been a whirlwind. Now, so I'm a senior SDR coming in. Since I've joined, I've gone New York, Abu Dhabi twice, Dubai twice, Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
Vegas.
Vegas.
And you know, they're still joining. But it's been a great ride and a great experience. But yeah, it's going really well so
Yeah,
far. to be
no,
fair.
unbelievable. I think that's what I really enjoyed about the role is the opportunity to travel.
Yeah.
If you find the right company, the right culture, and you really do well and you work hard and you're seen as the go-to person that gets things done, I think a lot of companies will open up doors for you to travel. It's not every company, but I think if you can find a US company as well that have that sort of international roots, and they've got a good amount of funding, which, you know, we can go into, that's a separate story. They're gonna open up doors and, I guess, repay the work you put in. So yeah, it's really nice to see you guys basically having what I had when I was in that role. So I guess what's the hard things then, right? So we've had before we get into like the super perks, because there are a lot of perks which we'll go into, and it's quite want to rip the band-aid off and give you guys the negatives now, because seeing you guys in the room today, I think, you know, the majority of you probably have an idea of what sales is or what tech sales is, but there might be that 10 or 20% of you that have maybe seen us on, I guess, Instagram, TikTok, or have just come through your network to be here. So I guess what are the real challenges of the job? And I guess Osama's here, so you know, he knows him as much as anyone, right?
Yeah. Close your ears.
But I guess I can start from my side. It was pretty much all consuming. Like, you have to be all in in this role. It can't be half in, half out. I think that's what, I guess, from my side, I liked, because if I commit to something, I like being all in, and I like seeing the rewards, and I like the challenge. Basically, I've played a lot of high-end sports when I was younger, but it is, you know, I'd go to sleep some nights and then wake up, you know, in the middle of the night thinking about work, and damn it, I've booked a meeting or got an email. But in a way, I like that, and I think I really liked the team aspect of being in a sales team. But it is a challenge, obviously, every month. Especially as an SDR, so as an entry-level tech salesperson, every month the scoreboard goes back to zero. Yeah. So if you hit it out the park 1 month, you know, the next month you wake up, you're back to zero, right? So you've got to continuously perform. That changes when you make that step up, maybe 24 months later. It's the scoreboard is every quarter or every year, but as an SDR, it's pretty much every week or every month you're getting judged on what are you doing, what's coming in, how many conversations have you had, were they good conversations? So that's the thing that is tough. But as a positive, I like that challenge. I couldn't think of being in a job or going back to a job where you're basically sat behind a computer looking at a spreadsheet and you're just, you know, not communicating with anyone. It's very, you know, very monotonous, and there's no excitement. There's no, I guess, dopamine reward when you do something like booking a meeting. So yeah, it sounds crazy, but I like that. I like that. And I like the fact that I was gonna, and you're gonna get paid for the hard work you do, right?
Exactly.
You're not just turning up to work knowing I'm gonna get, you know, collect 30K a year and that's it. You can make double your income very easly as a
what you put
SDR.
in is what you get out.
Yeah, for sure. I guess what are the other, and I guess it can be repetitive and at some stages, but I guess the positives for me, which we can go into, definitely outweigh the negatives.
I think no 2 days are ever the same. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to come in, even weeks, months. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I say months. You should be back on track by then. But you might have a bad week, or you might have a bad day, and it leads to a bad week. But it's all about, again, that mindset, trying to keep yourself upbeat.
Yeah.
I was telling Osama the other day, actually. There's times where I'm like, I think, oh God, I'm in a rut. I ain't booked a meeting for a while. But I put a song in and I listen to like Hello Black, I'm the man, I'm the man.
Yeah.
Just to get myself upbeat a little bit. I think, yeah, come on then, let's go.
Yeah.
And then you pick the phone up and then you just get yourself back in the zone, you book a meeting and then it takes off again. And
For sure.
it's a thing. If you're organised and you're doing the right things daily, it will pay off.
Yeah.
And it might not pay off in the first few days or the first few weeks, but if you keep at the grind, things start time after time.
Is a very cliche phrase, but I guess sales is to the most extent a numbers game.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of skill required, but if you're doing the reps and you're looking at yourself, you're being honest, you're going to be doing X amount every day and you're hitting sort of your numbers, you're going to see the rewards. But also working with good people makes such a difference. If you have a great manager or you get on with the people that have interviewed you. So I remember my first tech sales interview, I was walking in with no tech experience. You know, I'd done a year of door-to-door sales, I've put up marquees, worked in pubs. But the first half an hour of the interview, I was speaking to him about, you know, Liverpool's title race, like chances. So we weren't talking about anything to do with tech or my experience. So if you have that rapport with people and you can have a conversation and get them to like you, I guess from the first, 5 minutes. It's all relationships, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
to start with.
The biggest challenge I'd say for what I've seen with a lot of SDRs that come in is just being honest with yourself, all right? Because if you're not going to be honest, right, your consistency and everything's going to suffer from that point. Like, honestly, when it comes into it, SDR is the foundation for everything else that's going to happen. Everyone's got to remember this is the foundation for all the great other stuff. So you've got to have that wider picture. But if you're not going to be honest with yourself and you're not going to build those foundational blocks, everything afterwards, it doesn't matter if you do get that progression, it's just going to get twice as hard. So you've got to use this time of being honest with yourself. I was like, this needs to improve. That is because this is a time, honestly, you've got 2 years in that side to improve. Use that to improve. It doesn't matter, like, I could have so much other experience coming from somewhere else. I've come into a new industry. You've got to use that and actually absorb that and take that in and be honest with it. This is where I need to go. And then from there, that consistency builds, being consistent with your work every day, being consistent with this. And it's like what you were saying, there are those times where those meetings, shit, I'm not going to hit my target this week, or I'm not going to hit that. But then if you are consistent, I can guarantee you, and you actually refine your processes, you will get there. But you have to be honest, be big enough to be like, hey, look, this is not working for me. Where can I get help? And that's where that culture outside comes from. You can go to that, but what's working for you? Always go to the top performing person. What's working for you? How can I take that in? And that is probably one of the biggest advice there are. You have to look at the top performer, what they're doing right, absorb that, refine it, and make it better so then you go above them. And do that in a very good cultural way. I
think we were talking about earlier when we was playing pool. We were talking about how you've always got to be learning as well.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like you can come in, the boot camp is fantastic to get you in, but it's down to you as an individual whether you want to continue on this path and continue growing yourself. And I know there's a reason why I'm doing this. And I think if you don't know why you're getting into sales, it's hard to wake up every day and think, why am I doing this?
You've got to know your why.
You've got to know your why.
Yeah.
And if you just be a sponge when you come in, you learn off, like Ryan said, the top performers, you speak to your account executives, you learn about the product, you put yourself around, people start to notice you, you start to grow within the organisation. So
you do get to grow yourself, and that's the thing. You don't even know it at the time. When you're absorbing what everybody else is doing, internally you're just growing yourself. And then those targets become easier, those calls become easier, everything decreases. It's a different thing, but you have to actually put yourself in that position to make those fundamental mistakes. And honestly, past that point, take on board what everybody else is doing. And it's just that honest part of that. I mean, I called Jack at one point in time afterwards. I've talked to Osama at this point after. I've even talked to him. Look, I don't know what's going on here. I've even told him, mate, I'm burnt out at this point. What do we do? Like, there's an aspect of you've got to just be honest about it. And like, the older you get, the easier honesty gets. Like, that is the factor of it. but you have to actually just be willing to take that on board and then take the advice and then refine it and go through it.
Coachability, I think, is number one. Like, I think I'd say 75% of students that come through Entr Tech and the ones that do the best. So I'd say the ones that do the best are the ones that are coachable, right? And then the ones that in the interview, they might get to the last stage. Majority of people with our training, I'd say majority of people can get an interview and do well, get to the last stage. The ones that get the best jobs are the ones that are asking for feedback during the interview process. And they're saying, how could I have improved, that meeting with you? Can you give me some feedback on how we could do that? If they're doing role play, how did that go? Any feedback? And they'll probably say, do the role play again. People that are bringing in a notepad to the interview, that's my one tip. If there's anything you learn today, go to an interview and bring a notepad and pen and paper. If you're asking a question, don't just sit there and take it in. Like, write down the answer they're giving you and then maybe ask them a question about it 5 minutes later. But someone who can show that they're coachable in this game is, number one, going to get a job way quicker, way easier, but they're going to, achieve far more than someone else who just landed a job at the same time, because there's so much to learn once you're in a tech sales role, as a lot of you here who've got jobs can attest to. You've got to constantly be learning about the product, the market, about team members, dynamics, office politics. There's so much that goes with it. And if you can take that feedback on board, I mean, we've got a chef, Adam, who some of you might know from our previous meetups. He, I think, landed a job with Cizian. I think the number one reason he got it was, not the number one, but the interviewer said, I can tell you've done a boot camp. I've heard of this program, Entr Tech, but I can see, number one, you're open to learning, you're coachable during the interview. And number three, you're actually passionate about this sector that we're working on. So I think if you can really show you're coachable, you're willing to learn, you're going to go super far as an SDR. But yeah, I guess for you guys, what was the change up from companies? Obviously, we're in the Intap office. How is it here compared to your first experiences, right? Because obviously, not to put you under pressure again, but
It was the greatest thing ever.
How was it, Alex? So, funny enough, I've actually got one of the former SDRs I used to work with.
Okay, cool.
Comisoft,
yeah.
Comisoft. So, yeah, it was good. I think for myself, I worked in construction, Alex works in construction, and we sort of went into a industry where we had a bit of knowledge behind us.
Yeah.
And it was a construction-based tech platform. It was a job management software. It taught me a ton, good and bad, but it taught me a ton. And I think, again, a lot of people are worried about, I want to choose a perfect one from the start. Not every journey is going to be the same. Some people will choose that perfect company and do really well. And yeah, they'll go smash it there, become an account executive. But I knew this was going to be a place where I'd learn the fundamentals, the basics, to become a really good SDR.
And get indoors. Remind me, you didn't go to uni, right?
No,
Exactly,
exactly.
So I guess for you, it was like, how can I get into the industry, number one?
Yeah.
Learn and show I can do the job well.
Yeah.
And then potentially go into, let's say, a company like Intap, US blue chip firm where you can smash it out of the park. So I guess that's another good advice is don't look for the perfect firm from day one. Obviously,
it'd be lovely to.
Yeah, it'd be lovely to. And I think there's definitely a lot of rubbish firms you don't want to work for.
Yeah.
But sometimes, it's about getting your foot in the door, especially if you don't have any relevant sector experience. But I guess you were lucky you were in the building industry. And then targets-wise, you're both doing anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, the only advice I'd say, right, I made the mistake just be patient. Like, you've got to be patient wherever you are. Like, you could be too hasty. Like, the grass is always greener on the other side, whichever way it is. Right? It doesn't matter what organization you work at. Just be patient where you're at. Do the right things, meet the right people where you're there, spread your relationships, but be patient. Some organizations you see, 6 months, you're going to be made up to this, like whatever it is. Somebody say, 2 years, you're going to be made up to this. Just as long as you're happy working where you are and that you're in the right cultural vibe, just be patient for what it is. Because, if you're doing the right things, you're plugging away, that is what happened. And honestly, it doesn't matter whichever organization you're at. If you're at Comisoft, I was at one where everything was going well. It doesn't matter. You just got to be patient on that.
Nice. Good stuff. And I guess people want to know the juicy, goss. as in like the good stuff, because when I was thinking about tech sales, I couldn't believe the benefits of being in that role, right? So I used to see, 45K base or 30K base and, 70K OTE, but it is possible to be earning for the top jobs, not every job, but if you have, let's say, 12 to 24 months experience in the industry, top performers can be getting close to that six-figure mark, right? It is possible. And I think it's not saying everyone's going to do that. I think first year, typically the base ranges in London range from 30 to 45 as a base salary. And then with commissions, you're looking at probably another 20K on top, depending on the company. So I'd say probably 45 to 65 is a pretty good range for year one, which is realistic. But if you have that experience, 12 months in, there's no reason why you can't be earning anywhere from, high 60s plus.
Well, thinking about the last company that I moved from to come here, they actually offered me a 60 grand role with a 40 OTE. And this is another thing as well. You've got to kind of look beyond money sometimes. Yeah. And
for sure.
When I spoke to Osama in the interview process, I knew this was going to be a great opportunity, no matter what. And it's worked out the best thing I've ever done. He asked me, "Are you glad you've done it?" And I'm like, I am, every day. So I looked beyond money sometimes to see where I could actually progress in my career and really get to and reach good heights. So yeah, don't always be blinded by money is one thing I would say.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'd say,
and on that money aspect, I'd be like, you're going to have jobs where it fluctuates. Everyone knows this. I mean, coming into tech sales, yes, the entry is higher, but I was in the police. Our cap was lower of where we were. And you take it, this is an entry level position coming in. You've got to take that. But the essence of wage is higher. So you're in a good spot. But you should be focusing on your 2, 3, 4, 5 year plan and looking at what you're earning wants to be where you want to be at that point, rather than that initial bit. Yes, you do need to figure out your own house costs, your own things, what you need to live, what you need to do. Take that on board when you're looking for a job. Like, it'd be ridiculous to not say you don't want to take that on, right? You have to look at that. But you take that on board and then you look at 2 years, you look at 3 years, you look at 4 years, you look at 5 years. That is what you want to look at, and you look at where your start point is. All right, that is honestly, you have to give the full picture to yourself of where you want to be. To say 6 figures is not achievable, yes, it is achievable. To say the lower end is not achievable, 100% achievable. But you need to have that plan in your head of where you want to be in 4 or 5 years and what your base level of living at now is, and then you will get it. Just be consistent doing it. That is the honest truth.
Agreed. And I'd say, patience when you're in the role. Don't try and think you're going to be promoted within 12 months. Obviously, it can happen, but in the best companies, an entry-level role, you're realistically going to be there for 18 to 24 months because they're going to invest in you, teach you, coach you. They're going to expect you to be there and, be in the role for at least pretty much 2 years, I guess, in the market at the moment as it is. So if you can show that, that responsibility and how do you call it? Show that you're faithful to that company, right? They're going to repay you. They're going to give you that promotion. They're going to put you on that trip to, I guess, like you going to Frankfurt, Dubai, and they're going to look after you. You've got the right manager as well. So I guess interview-wise, that's always quite a good one. Like, what tips would you give to anyone interviewing? And then we'll open up to like Q&A. But what would you say if someone in this room is going into an interview tomorrow with no experience? Like, what could you say to them to
I think I said it on the podcast when we spoke the other week.
Yeah.
Just back yourself. Like, at the end of the day, you might come up against someone with 5 years experience, but you're not going to realise that these people who are interviewing you are going to be interested in the fact that you took time out of your life to do a 6-week intensive course to get into the industry. So they can see it, you're dedicated, you're going to have the willingness to do well at their firm.
Yeah.
So this person might come in with 5 years experience, but they're never going to think of you as just like a nobody because you've learned the fundamentals and you've really put your all into break into the industry, I guess.
Yeah.
So just back yourself and just be positive. Just go in there, just like I said, show you're coachable, show you're going to be like a sponge and learn, absorb everything once you get in, and you're really going to work hard for them. And yeah, people will take a punt on you.
Agreed. And then last one from me as well is, would you say tips is the sort of going into the office, is it sort of hybrid at the moment for you? Do you try and get in as much as you can? What's the setup?
Yeah, so we're like hybrid. So we just actually changed our working days with Monday, Wednesday and Thursday. We used to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I don't know if you've heard the acronym, the twat working.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
We used to be twats. So we was doing that. But
Nice.
again, I love being in the office. On a Monday morning, we do our Monday mornings meetings, and I run one the other day, and we're doing it as an SDR to learn off each other.
Yeah.
I'll go away, and I've just seen you've got a load of books over there.
Yeah.
I like to read on the way to. I've got a long journey. I'm from Essex, so I'm out near Southend. It takes me 45 minutes. I thought, might as well try better myself a little bit, learn a bit more. So I'm always reading books, and it's always good to share that with the team because at the end of the day, if you're learning off each other, it's only going to make you better going forward.
100%.
So.
And how fun is it to be part of like a team where there's that sort of environment and that sort of competitiveness where everyone wants to get better and improve? And sometimes, I don't know if I'm speaking for you guys, but you're probably friends now outside of work or inside of work.
No.
But, I mean, when I started my job, I was really good friends with the SDR who became an AE, and I was sort of reporting up to him. I took his SDR job, but then I was at his wedding, 2 years ago. Like, we kept in touch.
Yeah.
There's something really nice about working in that sort of environment. Everyone's working hard and likes to enjoy themselves as well. That's the best thing about being competitive and doing well, right?
Yeah.
The team's winning.
Unfortunately, me and Brad get along really well.
Do we?
So it is nice. I mean, this is elements where I say at my previous job, and we're looking at hybrid sense and stuff like that. I've been in the office prior to joining Tech 6 days a week in the office. That is where you are. Go up time, you're in the office, on the office. Then I had the flip side where it was 4 days at home or 1 day in the office. You get to marry up where you want to be as such. Like everything's, as I get, greener on the other side. But now we come in 3 times. I love coming into work. It's an enjoyable environment. Someone's created a great environment in the workplace as well. And that's one thing that keeps you where you're at 90% of the time. I mean, if you enjoy coming into work, we play pool, we do our work, we get food coming into us. I mean, it's a great place. You never would get this in any other industry anywhere else, but within tech sales, where you're at, depending on the company you are, you do get treated if you're at the right company, which is great. And where we're at now, we're enjoying it. It's going well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a
good journey. Good journey. Yeah.
And you're hopefully getting that, internal progression. Sounds like if you guys stick at it and
Fingers crossed. I know when you said that.
But that was the last thing for me as well. It's quite nice in tech sales. It's not like you're in investment banking where you have to stay past crazy hours. Like typically where I was at, 6 work home with you. Everyone comes in, does their work. But even today, like 5:30 people are heading home. It's as long as you do your work, you don't have to pull crazy hours. Like no one's sleeping in the office.
No, not I've seen.
Good stuff. Cool, guys. Well, again, really appreciate you guys coming down and I guess sharing this panel with me. We're going to open up to questions, a few familiar faces. So yeah, anyone got any questions? Nothing's off topic. It could be about tech sales, anything. Brad, Rana are here to answer any questions. So that's another bit of interview advice. If you're going to an interview, come with questions.
Come with questions.
Go for it.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
The first one, So when reaching out to hiring managers, what would you say is the best method of outreach? Would you say like LinkedIn or email?
It's always good at this. You take this one.
Yeah, for me, it was LinkedIn. Like I just LinkedIn them a simple message. Hey, just applied. Let me know if you need anything. Like keep it very confident in your and you'd be surprised, like very surprised in words how confident you come across. You could come across with a 2-paragraph thing. You come across with like, hey, great to meet you. This is where I'm at. But you need to be confident in that nice little space. Say, hey, it's me. Just saw your post, reached out here. This is why. Let me know if you need anything. Cheers. Bye. Like, keep your confidence in your message. You don't sell yourself that hard. But I found, otherwise they get 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 people doing that. You want to set yourself aside that you're level-headed and confident doing that.
I'd say also, you've got to show you can do the job before you're in the job. So actually by being proactive, it goes a long way. But as Rana would say, like when you're reaching out to someone, when you work in sales or you're selling software, you're not going to pitch them the product straight away. You're just trying to find a bit of intrigue where they're going to give you the next person to speak to, right? So it's trying to be not too over bombarding with too much information, but showing that you've done a bit of research about the role, is there anyone you can redirect me to, or should I apply like directly? And sometimes you can offer them some value. It's quite hard to if they're busy getting drowned by messages. I'd probably, is Ali here? Ali Shelton? Where's he gone? There he is. So Ali came through our cohort in November, which we just wrapped up this week, landed a job, which is incredible. But your advice is probably quite good. So yeah.
Well done, Ali.
Well done, Ali. Yeah, round of applause for that. But I'd say you're quite a good person to answer that
Yeah.
question.
I was thinking that earlier because we spoke earlier, and I was going to say there's someone.
I didn't have a LinkedIn before. I don't come from a corporate background. Never worked in an office. So that whole thing made absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah.
I found emails took too long. I found just picking up the phone. Depends.
Yeah.
Play to your strengths, but also find out what the person you're contacting is with. Try and make a read on what gels with them. So I called the recruitment guy because he made it very clear that he's responsive to that.
Yeah. So I think in his profile, right, he said.
But also I've done a lot of, I message people inside the company.
Yeah.
I ask them what the person that I want to contact is going to prefer before I reach out.
Nice. That's pretty cool, right? So doing like research, obviously LinkedIn's an amazing tool. If you guys aren't native to it, you've got to get used to using LinkedIn. But as Ali can say, just by researching and then pick up the phone, like a lot of hiring managers aren't going to get calls from people. Genuinely, I get maybe one call every quarter as a founder, but that's like someone who's really done research. I get a lot of spam calls, but someone who's been like, okay, Jack, can actually speak to you because of X, Y, Z, fine, as opposed to someone who's just calling and just pitching. So I'd say, yeah, if you can do your research and pick up the phone, it goes a long way. Obviously, it can be nerve-wracking, but I guess that's where, a bit of direction can help if you really know what you want. So yeah, I guess any tips and tricks you guys would like, happy to discuss afterwards. But I would say blended approach,
Off
right?
the back of that, I've seen approaches where people actually go to SDRs because there can be like good
Referrals, yeah.
bonuses.
Yeah.
So speak to other SDRs. They might be more. If you get along with the person, they start building a bit of a trust and rapport with them.
Yeah.
They might be happy to put your name forward. They might get a win out of it. So it's a win-win situation.
Generally, like a lot of US firms, I guess probably similar to you guys here, you can get, it sounds crazy, but probably about sometimes 2,000 more plus pounds, like someone else in the company will get for referring you. It can be anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000. It's crazy. So just from, reaching out to people, passing your CV, say, can we have a 5-minute chat or a virtual coffee? And if they like you and they can sort of help you along the journey, they're going to benefit, you're going to benefit, and then the hiring manager is going to benefit because they're getting someone who's actually been pre-trained in a way before the interview and know exactly what they want. Because another bit of interview advice, if you're getting an interview, the hiring manager wants you to do well. Like everyone's has this misconception about interviews, thinking, oh, it's going to be so scary. Oh, I'm under so much pressure. These girls and guys that are interviewing you, they don't have time to sit down and interview 50 people a week. So it's actually painful for them when you turn up to an interview and you haven't done your research and you're not going to be a good fit. They actively want you to do well and go to the next round, especially talent leaders, right? Salespeople, of course, they're going to be very straight down the line and they're not going to give you much time if you're off kilter or off the point. But it's definitely talent leaders, talent managers, recruiters. They're almost SDRs for finding the right people, right? So they want you to do well. So don't come into an interview, in your shell and not prepared. Like that's the number one thing you can do is just studying the actual company, the market, the team, and some recent news, right? Google's super easy. ChatGPT now, right? It's Google on steroids. Like I wouldn't say just use that, but it's a good tool to use to say, hey, I'm applying to, I don't know, let's say Intap. I'm applying here for an interview as an SDR with experience or no experience. How would you prepare? And then you can pull up the person's LinkedIn who's interviewing you, see where they worked before. Ask ChatGPT, can you mention 3 competitors to the company I'm applying for? What are the pain points? Talk to me about some awards they've won recently. That's it.
I think to add to that, when I was doing the Entr Tech program a few years ago, when I was looking for a job, I knew who was interviewing me for a second stage interview. And lots of sales managers, SDR managers they'll post a lot on LinkedIn. So definitely connect with those people on LinkedIn and see the posts that they make. So I saw one where the hiring manager basically spoke about the importance of sending a voice note if you connect with them before your interview. So I knew he was receptive to that. I sent him a voice note on LinkedIn saying looking forward to the interview, introducing myself, my background, and just saying, yeah, looking forward to it. He appreciated it, sent me a response, and we were able to have a strong rapport at the beginning of the interview. So yeah, onto that, just find out what your hiring manager or the person you're interviewing with likes, and then yeah, try and build that rapport instantly.
Love that. And again, a great reminder, actually, all of you should be downloading LinkedIn on your iPhone. It's a free app, and actually that's where you can voice note straight from your phone. And that's, cuts through all the noise. Probably only 5% of people are using LinkedIn voice notes. And start documenting. Sounds crazy. I mean, I should be doing it way more. And I think that's my goals 2026 is posting, not just drivel, not, okay, I had eggs on toast for breakfast. No one wants to see that. But I post, a photo of today, right? It doesn't even have to be a photo. I think photos do better, but it could be a photo of the setup here or resharing something we'll do tomorrow on socials. But even just connecting with people you're meeting, maybe Osama, maybe myself or other Entr Tech and alumni, and just start, if I was a hiring manager and I'm looking at your profile and someone with no experience in tech or no sales experience, if I see a photo of you at an event similar to this and you've put maybe 3 lines with your 3 takeaways and you've tagged, someone else you've met, could be myself or Entr Tech or whatever it is, and we repost it, that hiring manager is going to see that page and think, okay, this person's serious about getting into the industry. They're obviously attending events. They've obviously got a bit of a support network. They're obviously coachable because they want to learn. Like everyone who's in this room, kudos to you, right? It's Monday. I'm not going to swear, but it's terrible weather outside. It's dark, fair enough. We've had so many dropouts. I think we had 100 signups. So you guys were the ones that are in this room and you're probably here for a reason, right? You want to either find your next role in software sales, or you want to network, or you want to break in. And funny enough, if you are someone who wants to break in, obviously we've got our next cohort starting in January. Owen's in the corner, has just joined the team in terms of our marketing and ops director. We're actually launching our community network. So people who aren't ready for a full boot camp, don't have the time or whatnot, you can join up for a monthly basis. So speak to Owen in the background. It's going to be free for all of our alumni. Anyone who's done our boot camps in the past, they're going to be part of it. But for £24 a month, you can basically have access to, a career coach, a LinkedIn refresh, people that are going to help you with your CV. For people that are serious about breaking into tech sales with urgency, obviously we've got our legacy bootcamp. But yeah, if you want to join our community, come to events like this. The events are always going to be free, but we're going to do more stuff I think the job market right now is terrible. Let's be honest. Like the way the education system is going, that's the main reason why I started Entr Tech. I wasn't taught sales or anything about technology in my university degree. I did a business degree. So we're trying to change things up and get people into the room. So if we can help, we always will. But yeah, kudos to you for coming down, and let's connect, and hopefully you guys have learned something today, and we'll wrap it up there. But anything else you guys want to add?
No, I just think good to come down.
Yeah.
To come down, meet people. You never know what direction I met Rana through this, and he's opened up this direction to me. It's just good to connect. This is going to be one of the most valuable things that you do at Entr Tech. It's just networking with people.
Yeah, for sure.
It opens up so many avenues. So yeah, make sure you meet as many people tonight. Have as much as Jack's beer as you can and enjoy it.
Yeah. Lots of everything. But yeah, round of applause for Rana and Brad. Anything from yourself, Osama? I know you're off duty tonight, but again, a massive thank you. But anything else you wanted to add from your end?
I think I just want to kind of say I'm very proud of those two. They smashed it. Really, kind of this is just not talks. They kind of came in, proved themselves, and most importantly, in their interview, they promised and they managed to kind of deliver, which is fantastic. So, and that's where really kind of you get rewarded by just putting the effort, and just despite the fact that they had no experience in terms of the industry, they managed to learn and being that sponge, right? Learn kind of from everyone around you, and they kind of smashed it. So well done.
No. Good
Cheers.
stuff. That deserves another round of applause. Cool.